We welcome you to episode 55, no, 56 of Battin and Chattin here on Eastern Observer alongside Denis Tuohy. I'm Brandon Natale. Now, before we get started, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube to be kept in on the loop on everything Eastern Observer. And most importantly, Battin and Chattin. Our show can be found on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and wherever else podcasts can be found. Dennis, how you doing today in this fine evening?
I'm doing spectacular. I had a little Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner, saved the leftovers for tomorrow. Buy one, get one, boneless wings every Thursday. Buy 10, get 10 free. Whoever came up with that promotion, thank you.
I love me some
Thank you.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
How could you not? I get the lemon pepper wet sauce, mild sauce. We do good. We do good.
That's good. Every time I go on, sometimes I get the original Buffalo because I don't want the wings that are too hot.
Right.
Like, cause some when you get the hot, like you know how they have mild, medium, hot. When you get the hot, the wings are hot. You literally having like 8 cups of water. That's how bad. That's how spicy they are.
Here's my thing.
What?
I don't like when spicy stuff overpowers the flavor of what I'm eating. I want my chicken to taste like chicken. I want a little bit of sauce so it gets the point across, but don't smother it. Don't overbear it too much because I still want to taste that chicken. I want to taste that chicken.
Okay,
So, yeah, that's why I stick to my mild. I stick to my lemon pepper. I'm happy.
that's good.
And some
Good.
nachos.
Ooh, the guac is good too. I don't know if you ever tried the guac at Buffalo Wild
I
Wings.
don't like guacamole.
We're not sponsoring them, but hey, it's very good food.
Very good food. I just got to call it how it is.
You for the draft, honestly, we used to for fantasy. We used to go there. That's where we used to have our fantasy drafts. But life happens. People move. You know, and we'll travel, especially for Labor Day weekend. I don't like how we always do our fantasy draft on Labor Day weekend.
I like that we do it Labor Day weekend because I feel like I'm in my own draft office.
Right,
Out of town. I go away Labor Day weekend. You know that.
right.
Hang out.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
All
I
right.
like it. Hang out in the Outer Banks at Team Tuohy headquarters south at our south office. That's where we go.
I might be at Disneyland or Disney World.
Wow. Look
I
at
might.
you.
I might decide to go to Florida, visit our friend, Chris,
Of
and just go
course.
explore, and then my friend Michael. I don't know if you ever met him. You probably have. So I feel like I don't have a lot of vacation days this upcoming year, so I figured I got to plan around it. Would be a good time to go. I got to plan my flights. I got to do it soon. I got to do it sooner rather than later. So I'm excited for that. But we definitely should talk about this in the show because I feel like it's something that's not talked. Well, it is talked about, but it's new, it's fresh. It's like Comic Con, but for sports, Fanatics Fest, a new thing. And like I said, Fanatics is not paying us, but we're going to talk about them anyways. Their Fanatics Fest is happening at NYC. Like I said, it's like the Comic Con for sports,
I'll
and
be
a
there.
lot of athletes. It's definitely if you're big in memorabilia, collecting sports items, you want to meet your athletes and get photos. It's a place to go. So I don't know if me and Dennis are going to go. It's going to be really exciting, and obviously we'll tell the viewers everything we think about that. Just looking at the guests. Let me see if I can share the screen. Let's see. Um, Derek Jeter's going to be there, but that's Friday. So me and Dennis are going to Saturday. You got Paul Pierce, Pete Alonso, Michael Strahan.
I got a question for you.
Let me hear it.
Is it weird to wear a jersey or no?
I was thinking of wearing a jersey.
I don't know what I'd wear. I
I
think my Tino Martinez Yankees jersey fits me the best.
I don't
Just
know
the
if I'm gonna
newest.
get. I don't know if I want to wear my jersey, like my Jets jersey, or my Mets, because it's pretty Met themed. Because you see, you got Daryl Strawberry, you got Doc Gooden, Ray Knight, Jeff McNeil, and Pete Alonso. I might wear my Mike Piazza. Either that, or maybe a Jet jersey, because then again, I want to meet Vinny Testaverde. See? Uh, Rudy is going to be there, so that's pretty interesting. So yeah, that's Fanatics Fest. That's Definitely, I'm glad me and you are doing it. Just to see what it's like. It's the first ever one too. I'm surprised they didn't do it earlier, years ago. Fanatic, like something like this. Like this is the first ever kind of thing like that.
Yeah. It is weird, right? That they didn't do it sooner.
Yeah, that'd take Fanatics and Michael Rubin to kind of come together and be like, hey, let's have a Comic Con for sports.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty weird, right?
It is.
I wonder if it's ever going to be like Comic Con where Nike or Adidas or something like that, or there's a baseball pod, so like Easton. Remember them? Louisville has like a panel. Louisville Slugger has a panel talking about, hey, this is the newest stuff. Was it Dean? What was it? What was the bat brand that everybody went crazy for when we were kids? Dan Marini, whatever it was.
Sluggers? I'm not sure.
The metal bats.
I
But
can't. Yeah.
yeah, whenever brands releasing these the newest sneakers, these are the newest cleats. I wonder if it's going to be like that one day. Because to me, that's sensible.
Where Robert Downey comes out as Doctor Doom, like something like that. Like
Yeah, because let me ask you something.
right?
What's the point of going?
To meet the athletes and collect memorabilia.
Is that it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like the way I'm looking at it is, all right, so every year is just going to be athletes and stuff like that. But why else am I going there? If I'm not trying to spend a lot of money, what other draws are there?
No, I agree. I agree. I mean, I know they have like theater panels, so like them speak, because then they got like the Rich Eisen show. They got WFAN that's going to be there. First Take is going to be actually you should watch it tomorrow morning. First Take is going to be there. So I mean, if you want to watch, I guess that's another attraction. But like I said, no, I agree with you. You're like, what else is there? That's true. And I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me. Uncharted territory. I'm explorer by trade, Brandon. I have wait for it. Nothing broke. That was just a coaster. The Call of the Wild. When will I ever figure out the camera is there? I have the Call of the Wild, Brandon. I'm an adventurer at art. I want to see the first fan fest, Fanatics Fest.
No, I agree. And I decent price, and I like how some of the players are not expensive. Like Cream, I'll do. Like I'm not, I'm not like I'm paying a lot to get a steak. There's some of the athletes that like you could meet. It's like you're paying like a full dinner worth for like a memorabilia. I like how players like Jeff McNeil, Testaverde, they're like 69, $79.
I want to meet Jeff McNeil big time.
I agree. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I could get.
I'll ask him for a signed baseball, and I want to talk to him about Def Leppard. Real quick. Real quick. Why Def Leppard? Are you a Def Leppard fan, or do you just like Rock of Ages? What's your favorite Def Leppard song?
If you want to get a photo with him, I'd chip in. Like I would
I would love to get a photo of Jeff McNeil.
like
I I would love to get a picture with some of the athletes because I'm a big dude. And part of me wants to see, is it nonsense? Are these guys really as tall as they say they are? Am I as tall as I think I am? To put that on the social media, D-Train's a big boy. Get some people, wow, holy crap. D-Train's huge. Yeah.
say, hey, maybe they think you're an athlete.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who's dad? Who's that over
Yeah.
there?
Dude, weren't you on the Yankees? Yeah.
I was on the Mets. No, I was playing for the Jets. I guess
I could probably Jedi mind trick people into thinking at one point I was in the NHL or on my way to the NHL. They don't know. That's the one thing I have to say. Not too many hockey players. I was hoping to see some Devils.
I think Jack Hughes was supposed to be there, but it shows that he was part of the cancellations.
Oh, who was canceled? I love this kind of stuff so much.
Emmett Smith canceled. Some of the Hughes canceled. I'm not, and that's with some of the cancellations.
I love sliding doors moments, cut content, things like that, stuff that falls through. I don't know. Maybe I'm a pessimist. Fanatics. Fest cancellations. That's not proper English. Type. I could get a photo of Mike Tyson for $149. That seems kind of worth it. Wow. King Henry is going to be there.
King.
Henrik Lundqvist. Wow.
Yes. So Sorokin. A lot of Ranger players. Not a lot of Islanders. Like it's only Sorokin that's the Islander representing, but it's not. That's it. I don't know why. I wish there was more Jets. Like only Vinny Testaverde. Are you kidding? But I like how the Mets are definitely showing out too. They got Doc Gooden. I'm sure maybe next year they probably have like if Curtis Martin's going to be there, best believe I'm getting something signed with Curtis Martin. But would you? Let me say. Would you want to get a photo with me and you and with Rudy? Do you know how much that is? It's cheap.
Sure, if it's cheap. I don't really care.
Really cheap. You'd be shocked.
I do have to say something.
Go ahead.
Rudy, the movie. Never saw it.
There's a lot of people that have never seen Rudy.
Never saw it.
It's a great movie. It touches it's personal to me. Not personal, but it's very like heartwarming to me.
For anybody Justin Tuck. Oh, he's not doing a meet and greet.
He's not doing a meet and greet now. Neither is Plaxico Bears. Yeah, you're looking on it now. I feel like as the days go, like as the day goes on, like we're just like me and you, like we're on the train, like we'll discuss. Like I feel like we'll have a set more plan, like the day of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The whole thing is interesting.
I agree. I wouldn't mind getting a photo with Dale Strawberry. That's why we're going to find out. That's why we're going to find out.
Yeah, the cancellations were Emmett Smith, three Hughes brothers, Charlotte Flair, Reggie Jackson, Ilya Sorokin.
Wait, what? Wait, Sorokin canceled?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Sorokin. I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't see him. Wow, yeah, I don't see him. Damn, come on, Sorokin. You gonna do that to me? Well, I wasn't going this Sunday anyways.
Interesting. The whole thing is very interesting.
No, I'm definitely excited to see what's going on, like how it works.
Frank Thomas. Oh my God. Oh, I told you about this, right?
What?
I want to meet Frank Thomas and ask if he could sign a baseball for me with the inscription, and she'll like it too. Like the Nugenics commercials.
You did tell me that,
yeah. The big heart. Gotta love him. Gotta love him. Baseball. So, what's been going on? You and I went to the Mets Oakland A's game Tuesday. We finally get to say we saw the Oakland A's in person, and I get to say I saw the Oakland A's win. They clobbered your New York Mets. Score of 9-4. Ouch. You guys were getting runners in scoring position, but you couldn't bring them home.
Yeah, it was definitely a very interesting game. I I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Mets. This is not a good time for them to be in slump, man.
It's not,
It's
and
not.
I have to.
The Diamondbacks and the Padres are hot, and it is I hopefully the stretch ends. Luckily they won the games they did. This is not looking good. I'm not gonna lie.
And you lost today 7-6. 2 innings saved by Mason Miller. 2 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. If you have him in fantasy, that's 11, 14, 13 points. Not bad, Mason. I needed it, Bubby. So that puts you guys, the Mets, I know you're not on the team, at a kind of a weird spot in the standings here. As in the National League wild card, you are now on the outside looking in by 2 games. Only 2 games behind the Atlanta Braves. If I told you at any point in the season that would happen, I'm sure you'd be surprised. And somehow, some way, after their 9-1 over their last 10 stretch, the Arizona Diamondbacks go from cellar dwellers to dominators of the NL wildcard race. Pretty impressive. They're 4.5 games up from elimination. Pretty good. Pretty good spot for them to be in, and especially considering I didn't think what they did at the deadline was that impressive. I know Jordan Montgomery has been a disappointment. Corbin Carroll has been disappointing much of the season. I don't know if he still is. I have to be honest. But kind of an interesting flip-flop. And I agree with you, Brandon, that now is not the time to be doing this. Going into the trade deadline, you could have made the argument they should have sold some of their rentals. Sold on some of the bullpen pieces, sold on Luis Severino, sold on JD Martinez. They chose not to. And then they go into the skid here and kind of, once again, only 2 games out, but it's not a great look.
It's not a good look now. And the Braves are still kind of fighting the injury bug either, but yet they're still kind of, they've been lately more competitive and staying in the games. They found the way to win. And they've just been winning the games. They've been getting it done, even with the injuries that they've had, and they've had a really bad stretch of games too. So if the Mets can't find a way to win and make a playoff run, with the way this Braves team has looked and has been, that is not good. That is to me embarrassing. But like I said, I'm not trying to get too upset yet because there's still a lot of baseball left. But this is still not good, in my opinion. And I agree when you say, this is because it's not looking good because because they could have sold, they could have. But people like me, people like Brandon Nimmo, and other optimistic fans, liked what was going on, chanting "Oh my God" all night long, and now we're only 3 games above 500. So it's like I said, the Padres and the Diamondbacks. Who knew what kind of run they were going to go on? Honestly. I feel like they're definitely walking away with the 1 and 2 seed, and they're still fighting for the division. They're not that far away from the Dodgers.
They're not.
They're not. Dodgers. If I'm a Dodgers fan, I'd be scared. That's another conversation. So I think if the third wild card spot's up for grabs, and like I said, and the division, not the division, but the wild card, it's not a lock. Not even the number 1, 2, or 3. And so
Yeah, both the Diamondbacks and Padres are both 2 games out from the Dodgers. It is important to note, and I think people have forgotten this, there is no more game 163 like there used to be. Whoever's higher in the standings is higher in the standings, regardless if there's a tie. Now that every team plays each other, it kind of makes it a moot point. And not only does it kind of make it a moot point, even if, let's say, the Mets and Yankees only played each other twice this year, let's say they're in the same league and they're 2-2. We obviously know the Mets swept us, whatever. 2-2, it would then be your division, your record in division, then your record in the league. Then, they find other ways of doing it. So this is it. This is it. Every game counts. Certainly losing Kodai Senga hurts the Mets a lot. They didn't get that other starter at the deadline. They got Paul Blackburn, as proven Tuesday night, to shaky at best.
No, I was not impressed
You
with
know,
that start. He looked decent. He looked better against the
points.
Angels in his debut, but I don't
He
know
looked
what
very good.
happened against the Athletics. His former team.
Maybe he was just missing locations. Maybe they, knew kind of what he preferred and
Right.
whatnot. It's a lot easier for an entire team to game plan against one person than it is for one person to game plan against an entire team. So who knows? I'm sure he had that revenge game mentality, and I'm sure there's nobody more angry at his performance Tuesday night than he himself. And he really was bad. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here. I was high on him going into our game too,
Yeah,
especially
I
because
was
I have him
very
on my
excited.
fantasy
Yeah,
team.
same. Yeah.
Whatever, like I was excited to see him play. And he was on the A's for such a long time that, watching the Oakland A's in person, it was kind of exciting for me. And 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, ballooning his ERA to a 4.43. And not only that, he had 2 walks as well. The Mets had 1 error. I honestly thought that they should have probably been charged for more than one. I thought that they may have had 2 or 3 that you can argue as errors, but they got charged with the one. I reckon that's going to be the one from Jose Iglesias at third, which
Right.
really,
Bad play.
catalyzed was the catalyst for
Right.
that big rally, which ultimately put the game out of reach early. There was that moment the bases were loaded, and then the A's took out the starting pitcher, uh, who was Joe Boyle, who actually did pretty darn good.
Right.
The Mets got to him late, but 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 strikeouts. He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at all. Had some control issues, but nothing crazy. They brought in Austin Adams, who's gone viral. We'll talk about that shortly. Who ultimately got the one. His 1 inning pitched, he got 2 strikeouts out of the 3 outs he could have gotten, and those were all huge as the bases were loaded when that happened. Right after the Mets really started to get to the A's pitching staff, Joe Boyle in particular. That was in the 5th inning. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I got to be honest. I was disappointed by the Mets. The A's have not been good this year. This was a must win. They wound up splitting the series 2-2.
No, it was the Athletics took the series.
Right. I'm sorry. I keep thinking that today is Friday. I don't know why.
It
All
feels
day.
like a Wednesday, in my opinion.
Yeah. I just keep skipping over today, Thursday. Maybe it's because we're doing the I keep calling it Fan Fest, the Fanatics Fest on Saturday, and I keep thinking like you got to get that done. That I'm
Right.
skipping over whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a tough spot to be in, and the A's, to their credit, the guys who they're trying to build around showed up and showed out. Brent Rooker,
Miguel
2
Lindor,
hits, not bad.
Brent Roker.
Yeah, and then Shea
So
Langeliers, 4 RBIs on the day. Oh my god, and the home run.
mess, yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was a 3. All right, you're right. It was a 3-game series. Oakland won Tuesday. You guys then
Right.
won yesterday 9-1, and then you lost today 7
Yeah,
6.
yesterday was a great game. Alonso had 4 hits the night before. Everyone's been, getting on him, but he actually had a decent game.
Yeah, I mean today you score 6 runs. That's when you got to win. The loss was credited to Reed Garrett, who in 1 inning of work gave up a walk, 3 hits, a strikeout, and 2 earned runs. He hasn't been too good for you guys, right? I kind of feel like at different points in the season, friends of mine have been a little
He was
fed up
great in
with
the
him.
beginning of the year, and then now it's been very weird.
You only lose by 1. All right, so now you're hosting the Miami Marlins. Okay. And this Marlins series is 3 days. Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Then you got Baltimore, which you and I are actually going to Monday night to see Peterson versus Kramer. So you got one bad team and then one of the better teams in baseball, although they've been struggling lately. I mean, and then you got 3 games on the road. You're leaving New York Wednesday night. You're going into San Diego Thursday. Then you got all in a row, San Diego for 4 games. You're off the Monday to Arizona. 3 games there. Then on your way back to the East Coast, 3 against the White Sox. Kind of a tough schedule, travel-wise. Especially for a Mets team who, banged up. We've mentioned it a few times. Kodai Senga not in the lineup. Ooh, sorry. No Kodai Senga. You don't really have that ace. Luis Severino, we know the wheels could fall off there at any point.
Right.
Always injury concerns. Not the time for them to be, for lack of better phrasing, discombobulated. JD Martinez did leave Tuesday night. And during that game, Mark Vientos came in for him and did pretty good. But he did play today, JD Martinez. So obviously nothing of concern there, but you never know. You never know if a guy has to leave early, even if it turns out to be nothing, and that puts everything else in limbo. So let me ask you, I was just talking about the Padres series into the Diamondbacks series after leaving New York. So you got 3 straight against Baltimore, then 4 straight against the Padres, then you're off, 3 against Diamondbacks. How important is that skid, that 10-game skid? What are you trying to go over there?
That
is 500 bare minimum, or are you in super panic mode and you want 7-3 or more? Obviously,
I don't want to be too much of what the media is very, the media could be very hype up, and paranoid and yet panic type state. I'm not trying to be like 6-4. I'd say 7. They really should try to win as much games as they can. If they get swept by, say, the Padres or the Diamondbacks, like if they go on a bad losing skid, the New York media is going to have a field day.
Their season will be over.
Season will be over. Exactly. Yeah. Like all they've worked for, all the oh my god and stuff, which I like, but all the oh my god stuff and the all the wins and the offensive production that they have, it's a decent lineup. It's going to all go to waste. And so it's a huge, they're at the top of the wild card. It'd be easy for them to take advantage of, getting in. They won't be so far behind. They need to play more games against the Braves, but that's not going to happen. But, it's definitely interesting. So they're very important, those games. You want to definitely take advantage as much as you can, especially, like I said, because the Padres and the Diamondbacks. And it's tough for them. They're fighting for something, too. They're fighting for the division. It's not going to come easy. I just don't want the Mets to be in a bid. Like, Nimmo's in the slump. Alvarez in the slump. Alonso. Nimmo, I don't know what's going on with Nimmo. It's good that Vientos came in today. He played in the cleanup spot instead of Nimmo. Second spot. And so, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please finish.
So, Vientos shined today. He had 2 home runs. So maybe Nimmo needs to be changed in the leadoff in the lineup. So, but no, it's definitely important. They should really try to go for 7-3. But if they find a way to get 6-4, maybe split it, sure. But this game's not going to come easy. So I hope they find a way to do something. They swept the Padres in the season.
When we saw them Tuesday night, they had a totally different lineup. You just mentioned they moved Mark Vientos up. Right. He's batting second now. Do you think that Brandon Nimmo didn't even play today?
He didn't play today. No, they gave him the day off.
Do you think that's a wise decision?
What do you mean?
I mean, you really need to win every single game here on out. Obviously, you're not going to. But can you afford to be without one of your best players on the roster? I mean, is it unfair to say Nimmo's been your third best hitter this year behind Lindor, obviously, and
Yeah, but
Vientos?
he's been slumping pretty hard. I don't know if you've seen
Is
it.
he? No,
Yeah.
I didn't. I wasn't too familiar if he was or wasn't, to be honest.
So that's why I guess you gave him the day off. He has not been hitting well.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
He's
enough.
very inconsistent this year. He'll have very streaky, like very hitless streaks, then look good, look phenomenal. Like the reason why we gave him the money, and then now he's back to that form. It's weird. I don't understand it. I don't see why, but hopefully he seems to fix it. Maybe giving him the day off and him putting Vientos in that spot would be good. It's like when Lindor was like the number third hitter, but then they moved into the leadoff spot, and now he's been phenomenal. Phenomenal hitter. He's hitting 265.
Right.
That's insane. Compared to hitting 190 and then 265.
Yeah.
So, I guess something needed to change, and they easily should have won today. I don't know how they gave up 5-0 to the Athletics, and then they can't find a way to beat them. They've managed to give that up. Are you shocked at that, Dennis?
Dude, I mean, you've got to win that game. And you know who it's really on? He didn't get credited the loss, but he should have been credited the loss. 4 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, 4 earned runs, 1 strikeout, 92 pitches. That's an awful start. That's an awful start for what you need right now.
Did you know?
I'm not saying I'm not saying you got to go old school 1986 or I guess rather 1984 or 5 Dwight Gooden and just dominate 9 innings. I'm the best player in the world. Kick rocks. No. You got to give me 5. You got to give me 5. Especially with how many bullpen pieces they burned Tuesday. You're one of the veteran guys on the roster. You got to anchor it. That's something that a lot of people had issues with going into the season. A lot of veteran guys, if they do, find themselves in a position to make a playoff push, are they going to have the bullets? That's a very realistic question to ask. Once again, the only starter, unless of course I'm wrong, they added at the trade deadline was Paul Blackburn. Even then, that's not exactly top shelf. That's that $7 house draft beer, brother. I mean, really. Once again, who's the tip of the spear for that pitching rotation? Luis Severino. And I'm a Yankees fan. I know better than most. That's a rickety basket to put all your eggs in. So, and you guys, I always say I want a New York versus New York World Series every year. So I'm not trying to always come off as a hater. And I thought I've been probably nicer to the Mets than most this season. I've kept saying, the National League, you could get in there with a 500 record and the Mets are easily capable of that. But I don't know, man. I got to say, I'm a little worried for you and our boys that are that are fans.
Yeah.
I got to say, I'm getting a little nervous. I did like today, though, 1 inning pitch, 2 strikeouts for Edwin Diaz. At least there's some normalcy there. He had some struggles this season. Hopefully he can keep playing well. Because, once you get into that 2022 Diaz range of all we got to do is have a lead at some point within the first 8 innings and we're good to go. That could be really impactful. So, yeah. Kind of a tough spot to be in. Hopefully, you're hosting the Marlins. The Marlins always play you guys well. You got to bring brooms. You got to bring brooms to Citi Field.
They do. I agree.
We'll for argument, just quickly before we move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we're talking about the Mets playoff push. It is fair to also look at what are the schedules for the other teams. Because, you guys got the Marlins. I don't want to say that's Cadillac, but it ain't, you're not going up against the Phillies. All right. So the Braves got the Angels. They just took 3 of 4 from the San Francisco Giants. Arizona, we'll start off with Arizona, then we'll go to San Diego here to see what they got. Of course, the laptop is lagging right when I need you. Come on, don't embarrass me here. They're on the road at Tampa for their next series, who have been very not good.
Right.
And then they got 3 against Miami and 3 against Boston before they host you guys. That is kind of a tough stretch. Just geographically playing that far away from Arizona. But if you're in Florida for that long, you'll adjust to it, obviously. But you're going from 2 pretty mediocre teams to the Red Sox, who have been on fire lately. I don't know. That could kind of bode well for you, man. That could bode well for you. And then lastly, the San Diego Padres. Coming up, they will be when this laptop steps. Oh, you want to talk about easy, brother? They got the Colorado Rockies. Oof. Now I know they gave you boys some fits, but you're hosting. Oh, I'm sorry. You're on the road for Colorado 3, and then you got Minnesota at home for 3, and then you guys for 4. Like I said,
Yeah.
So yeah,
every game counts, man. They got it.
Yeah.
Every
and the good thing is
counts.
You could kind of control your own destiny here because you're playing both the Padres and the Diamondbacks. 7 games total. 3 in Arizona, 4 in San Diego. So every win you get counts as 2 because it's a win for you, it's a loss for them. So unless, of course, you have anything else on the Mets, you're the Mets guy, I'm happy to move on.
Just one more thing. I know we talked about Quintana. He pitched 4 innings. Did you see today that the MLB was suggesting the 6 innings pitching limit, that your starting pitcher has to pitch 6 innings?
So stupid.
I think so too. It's stupid. You can't control every team's move. It's messed up. Because what if a pitcher's getting rocked? You're gonna keep him in?
That's so stupid.
It's gonna be such a high offensive, like, if baseball, the offensive metrics will go so high. It's not even funny. You probably have players for more OPS pluses and more on base percentage. You know what I mean?
You want to hear something? And listen, I understand we talk about like, oh, great pitching duels and stuff like that. We had great pitching duels in 2019 and in 20 and in 21 and in 22. And the ratings still sucked. Do you know why we had great pitching duels? Because everybody was getting 10 freaking strikeouts a game. So what am I missing here? Yeah, but we want guys to go longer. And listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You know, I am a kind of, I guess, like an old head baseball fan, or I guess like a baseball hipster because I was born in 2000, whatever. You want to hear something? The guys that were pitching into the 9th inning were not giving their best in 1983. They weren't. They weren't giving their best in the 9th inning of 1995. They weren't. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So I really don't think that it's a thing that we need. I don't know. Because then people are saying, should it be tied to the DH? No. 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 You mean to tell me I would rather see a pitcher dominate than offense at a baseball game? I'm telling you who thinks that. Nobody that you're trying to attract to a game. Nobody goes to a game and sits down and says, whoa, I hope he gives me 6 innings of 1-run ball today. No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't, like, how are you going to dictate, like, what a pitcher, like, you know what I mean? It just ruins, to me, it ruins more the game of baseball. Like, I get what they were trying to do with the pitch clock, and I get what they're trying to do with the base running. I get it. But this would do damage than good. Because, like I said, a pitcher's getting rocked. What are you going to do? Unless he's hurt. And my coworker mentioned it today, too, like, that they could fake injuries just to get out.
Yeah. By the way, I got to say something. I'm shocked that doesn't come up more with the 3-batter minimum. Because you probably remember this. Before they came up with that, there used to be left-handed specialists. That was a job. Like Dan Plesac made a career out of that. Pitched, I think, in the most games ever, didn't he? Because his specialty was they have a lefty up late inning, go in and just get him out. 1 out and you're done. That's your night. And I'm surprised that teams haven't just done the wounded gazelle move. Just, all right, fake an injury. A little bit of showmanship. I don't know. What are you going to do? Get mad about it? Soccer's the most popular sport in the world. They do it all the time.
But that's it. But I
don't know. I think
the rule is stupid because I think that definitely does more damage than. Cause, I mean, if you're trying to help the bullpens, because like the Mets, for example, the Mets have used almost every bullpen guy ever. Heck, they've used me. My arm is given out.
And you were dominant at Star, brother.
I was very dominant. I was beating on Diaz. I wish. And then
you come out to Timmy Trumpets.
Yeah. Come out to a Beatles song. Yeah.
What would be your walkout music?
Let me think of that. I'll say before the show ends.
Of course.
I would say. No, I'm not thinking of that. Just. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But no, like, point I'm trying to get at is like, why? I don't know. Like, what's the benefit of it? I think it's probably the most stupid thing that the MLB's ever tried to come up with. What's the goal here? Are you trying to help the bullpen, or are you trying to help the starting pitching? Because you're going to do more damage and you're going to do good, and it's also going to hurt the market for relief pitching, which my coworker did say also. Like, it's going to hurt it for sure, because that's going to suck.
I think the thinking is they want starting pitchers to be more of a draw for fans. Like pitching duels, promoting pitching duels, because they've talked about this on MLB Network. And I think it's stupid. I really think it's stupid because, like I said, the ratings were at its worst when the pitching was at its best.
But the ratings have been going up more this year. So, like,
right.
Why change it? And, like, you just do worse.
Right. And why would we take away a capable hitter and tying it to the DH? Listen, no team has been sustainable. Nobody has been able to sustainably win by using bullpen games. The Giants tried it last year, and they sucked. And we made fun of them on this program quite a bit. Sorry, Giants fans, but we did. So I don't understand what that is. Is it because now I think another thinking is maybe that trains pitchers to be more economic with their pitching rather than going all out on every single pitch.
Right.
That way you can have more built-in longevity. That's fine. Or hear me out. We can just stop running pitchers into the ground. Now, I know that's unenforceable, but it is kind of one of those, you know it when you see it. Am I wrong on that?
No.
I mean, at this point, the Tampa Bay Rays and Miami Marlins pitching staffs are just a suicide squad. We know day one, half of them are going to be with near career-ending injuries every year. We know it. Maybe it's me.
I think you're fine.
No more X-Force pitching rotations, please.
Nope. But all right. I think that covers the Mets.
I think so too.
The Yankees. What happened in the first game against the White Sox?
I've been on both ends of this throughout my athletic career. This is when you don't take a team seriously. This is what happens. Straight up. I'm sure the game plan was crap. I'm sure they barely tried in warm-ups. I'm sure they showed up to the ballpark laughing and ha-haing. We got the White Sox tonight. It's a game off, brother. I'm sure that's yeah. I've been on both ends of this. I've been on the side that said you laugh now, and I've been on the other side of why were we laughing? You have, we all have playing sports. It happens. It's a weird game. I'm not going to be one of those people that like flips out like, oh, we got destroyed by the White Sox. Do you know 1995, 1996 Chicago Bulls, regarded as one of the best sports teams ever? Do you know who they lost to that year, Brandon? They went 72-10, right? 71-11, something like that. Do you know who one of the teams they lost to was?
Wait, who are we talking about again?
The Bulls, Chicago Bulls, the Jordan Bulls, 95-96.
They never lost.
I'm not talking about the finals, brother. I'm talking about regular season. They lost to the Toronto Raptors. Okay, well, Toronto Raptors. Dennis, what's so special about the Toronto Raptors? The Raptors were a historically bad team. At that point in time, one of the worst to ever grace an NBA court.
And they did just start around that time, too.
And they didn't just lose. If I'm not mistaken, they actually didn't they get crushed in one of those games?
I believe so.
Nope, I was wrong. They actually only lost by one. Damon Stoudemire went off. Beast, Mighty Mouse. But still, it happens. It happens. No team's going to go 162-0 in baseball. I don't really care. One thing that does concern me, dude, what happened to our boy Jazz Chisholm?
That is concerning.
You think? He's going to be put on the IL with the UCL injury. They are unsure right now if he's going to undergo surgery. It's in his non-throwing arm, which is good. And he's been really good. In 61 plate appearances, he's hitting .316 for us and 7 home runs. So, I don't know. I got to say, I'm really worried. I don't like that. I do not like that.
Yeah.
Not one bit. We're tied. We're dead even for the Orioles, for first place in the American League East. 72-50. They have the tiebreaker over us. As far as the American League wild card standings go, we lead the pack. 5.5 games away from elimination. The Boston Red Sox on the outside looking in. 2.5 games behind the Kansas City Royals, who are 2 games behind, of the Minnesota Twins. I got to say, as a Yankee fan, is it weird that I'm starting to think that Boston's going to win the division?
Yes.
Baltimore's been really bad over the last month. The Yankees, if we lose Jazz Chisholm, I don't know. He's been so important for us.
Yeah, that'll be
Boston's
a big
been even keel. Since that Sunday night baseball game against the Yankees, where it was a track meet, 9 stolen bases on Marcus Stroman. They've been on fire. And yes, they were without Jarren Duran for 2 games because he used a homophobic slur.
Yes.
But he's back. It was only 2 games. He's been their best player. Cedane Rafael has exploded for them. You still have Rafael Devers. You have Tanner Hawk. Their bullpen is anchored by a likely future Hall of Famer in Kenley Jansen. Masataka Yoshida has been phenomenal over the last couple of weeks. I've got to say, I am nervous. I do take solace in the fact that we face Detroit for 3 games,
Right.
2 on the road, 1 with a star next to it. I think that's at a neutral location. If I'm not mistaken, that's the Little League game. And then we have 3 against, we're hosting Cleveland for 3, hosting Colorado for 3. We always play Cleveland well. Are we going to sweep? I don't know, but we got to go at least 2-1. And then Colorado, we got to sweep. We don't play Boston until mid-September for 4 games. They've had our number all year. I don't know. I'm just a lot more worried about them than Baltimore at this point. More experienced, playoff-wise manager in Alex Cora. Nothing against Brandon Hyde, but Alex Cora's won a ring as a manager in 18. I don't know, man. I gotta say, I'm starting to get a little nervous. And the Yankees, listen, with how Stanton's been playing lately, even Gleyber Torres has looked good. Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, there's a huge monkey off their back. But I'm a little nervous. I'm getting a little uncomfortable. Boston have been 4-6 over their last 10, but before that, they were phenomenal. The Yankees and Baltimore are both 6-4. We definitely need Garrett Cole to click.
Has he been better? How's he been up to with?
He's not been good.
Really? Still? I don't know if he was dealing with body fatigue.
I actually haven't seen how he's done since coming back from that. His last game was 5 days ago. 5.1 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. That was Saturday. That was the day I went out for dinner in Forest Hills. Had a nice time. And he started to kind of lose it towards the end. One thing I have to say with the Yankees this year, I love Matt Blake, our pitching coach. The pitching counts are ridiculous. I've kind of noticed that. Same thing with Quintana. I noticed that around the league. This year, the pitching counts are like unbelievable.
How unbelievable.
It's just kind of weird. Maybe it's because no more spider attack. You can't just throw 108 miles an hour for 3 pitches and get outs.
Right.
No. What do you think about the Yankees as just on the outside looking in?
It's definitely, that division is very tough. They're neck and neck with the Orioles. It's going to be fun. It sucks there's no game 163 because I feel like that would have been it. A lot of teams are kind of slumping. The Dodgers haven't been looking good. Like I'm saying, they're in the AL American League. A lot of the divisions are not a lot. Like the 3 divisions, only maybe 2 are considered locks. So let's say the Yankees. It's tough because the Orioles became a really good team. You look at any other team isn't that good. Like not good, but like not as competitive as the Yankees have been, and the Orioles. I think it's very interesting for the Yankees. So I hope Jazz Chisholm's all right. It's crazy they lost how they did against the White Sox, but that's how it is. So I'd be worried from a Yankees fan. I'm not a Yankees fan, but if I were, I'll say again, I'm not a Yankees fan. They should be concerned. Like they shouldn't be concerned because they still got a decent team. But then again, they only have like 2 hitters. Oh my god! Hey, I was just mimicking. But so that the Yankees shouldn't worry as much.
One thing I do have to say, you mentioned the Dodgers have been bad lately. Mookie Betts was injured for a while. We talked about it last week, and obviously wishing well to the Freeman family. Freddie Freeman was off the Dodgers for a week? maybe
Right.
even more. He's back. Clayton Kershaw is now back. I don't really know how much we could really be concerned about the Dodgers, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are looking at the standings and getting a little nervous there. I don't know. I still like what they're doing. I still think they're a good team. They have the talent. They have the experience. They have the leadership. And they have Otani. So if I'm the Padres or the Diamondbacks, of course, I'm talking myself into we can take it. We can take it. We can take it. But you got to be realistic to an extent. I'm actually going to look. Is Mookie Betts back already?
I don't believe so yet, no.
Looking it up. He might be. Maybe I'm about to make myself look like the biggest idiot in the world.
Why not?
I haven't really been as keyed in on the West Coast baseball as I have been in the past. Oh, he's back already. Yeah, I did make myself look like the biggest
I guess
idiot
I
in the
should take a
world.
look at my fantasy team then, make sure, because even though my team is like way out of the playoff.
Oh my god. 3 straight games with 2 or more hits.
Really?
Yeah, dude. He had 5 at bats, hit 2 hits, 3 strikeouts last night against Milwaukee. Oh well.
Yeah, I gotta add him back.
All right, so I said I could see the Red Sox winning the American League East. What other teams do you think are kind of wild card division winners? You know, dark horse picks to win their
Let me
division.
take a look in the standings. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, of course. Take your time. Take your time.
Definitely Kansas City. I would watch out for the Mariners. The Mariners, that division is tough too, but that division is not all. I mean, it sucks because the Astros kind of came right back. They were kind of slugging in the beginning of the year, and then they randomly came back. I like the Mariners a lot. I feel like I don't know what happened. Well, they definitely destroyed the Mets. The Mets definitely didn't have a good time in Seattle. I like the Mariners. I feel like they definitely got a good team. They signed Victor Robles to a good deal too. They just traded from it from the Nationals. It sucks that franchise. I feel like the Mariners don't get enough love as it is. They look like the fan base look like it's something exciting. I might be wrong, but no, I don't know. I like they got a good team, especially the catcher and obviously Julio Rodriguez. So the Mariners are definitely an interesting team. I'd be on the watch for who can make a sneaky run. Maybe Tampa Bay. I doubt the Athletics because the Athletics are definitely way out. But those are my teams. What about you?
Well, I said the Red Sox to win the division is certainly feasible. I don't want to say likely, but feasible. At 6 games out, they're 4-6 over the last 10, but I really do think that you might be onto something with the Royals. Although the Guardians are also on a 5-game win streak, so who knows? The Mariners and Astros, I don't know what's going on there. They keep flip-flopping, mostly because Seattle imploded. I think the Phillies win your division pretty handily. I think the Brewers win that division pretty handily. Yeah. I think everything else pretty status quo, but I think the Royals, Red Sox, they could go on a run here.
They could.
So,
All right. Is there anything else before we wrap up?
nothing that I noticed that I want to talk about. Although, dude for the Phillies hit for the cycle today.
I did see that.
That was Mr. Hold on. That was a Mr. Weston Wilson. His first career triple came in an effort where he hit for the cycle. Good for him. Congratulations, Weston.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. We thank you for another edition of Battin and Chattin. For my co-host Denis Tuohy and the entire Blackjack Media Group team, I'm Brandon Natale. And so long, and we'll see you next time.